Hey cats and kittens, Big Ed. So here's the thing. I know I've been obsessing about this acoustic thing lately, but I think a lot of us are like, how can we get better acoustic sound at gigs live? So I think we've kind of come up with that, what I got out of my quad Cortex versus HX Stomp versus a pedal board versus the voice print, the LR Bags voice print, and some other options. I think we can, kind of discern that the quad Cortex is the best option out of all of those. But then we also touched briefly on the NUX or the NUX Optima Air, and it actually sounded pretty good. I couldn't go deep into editing because the software won't open since I updated the firmware. What? But yeah, that's okay. I got pretty far with it before that. And then I started thinking, okay, well, how is this going to compare to my quad Cortex? Because otherwise I was going to use my quad Cortex to go out, right? Okay. So I also started thinking, okay, well, but the Optima Air has an effects loop. Should I run my effects before it? Do I run them after? Do I run them in the effects loop? Do I run some before, like a compressor before, the others in the effects loop, or the compressor and the other? Anyway, where I'm going with this. So after a lot of experimenting, I'm going to share with you what I learned. I, just naturally thought Optima Air, run the compressor first, and then run the time-based effects in the loop, and then maybe like an EQ or something afterwards. However, I tried all the different options. I tried the compressor after the Optima Air. I tried the compressor before. The compressor in the loop works the best. I'm sure there's a reason for this, but it actually sounds a little bit better. It responds a little bit better. So do all the other effects. They actually work quite well in the loop. So what we're going to do here today, I'm going to try to save you some time of trying all the different options, trying before, trying after, trying some in the loop, some before, some after. Okay, I already did that. So I'm going to play for you what I discovered. As you can see here, I've got the NUX Optima Air, the compressor first in the chain and the loop, the TC Electronic Infinite Sustainer, which we're not going to use, the Ripley Fall chorus vibrato thing, which you're not going to probably hear. I don't think I'm going to use this. This thing is fabulous, though, for acoustic guitar. It's just voiced really well. I've tried a lot of vibe pedals, a lot of chorus pedals. The Jam Ripley Fall is the best, in my opinion. And then I've dialed in a really nice room on my Source Audio Ventures, a beautiful room for an acoustic guitar. And when you hit the right switch, it gives you tremolo, which I didn't want to add a tremolo pedal. So this is beautiful. And then the afterneath, well, never mind, that's just for my amusement. Here's the acoustic sound, as you heard at the opening, of all of that. Pretty good, right? By the way, this is all being recorded direct. They're getting no camera mic at all, no room. This is all direct into Pro Tools from the Optima Air. And by the way, that's the compressor is set to 2 to 1. It's barely hitting, right? Yeah, so the compressor is set up 2 to 1, kind of medium attack, medium release, and it's barely hitting on the meters of the reduction meters. So really all you're hearing there is the Optima Air, the compressor, and the Ventris room reverb, and sounds pretty good. So now let's compare that to the Quad Cortex again. I'm gonna plug the Quad Cortex in and we're gonna do the same thing and see what we come up with, okay? Cool. Okay, so now here's the Quad Cortex. By the way, it's a very similar IR. The IR I have in the Optima Air is a J45. The IR I have in the Quad Cortex is a J45. It's a similar patch that it has compression and reverb. Different reverb, probably a bigger, different sounding room reverb, but similar enough. I think a little more reverb than I have with the Ventris, because that's I was able to dial that in really, really succinctly with the app, just sitting here for hours, which was great. So it's very similar. Not exactly the same J45 IR. The IR in the Optima Air is the NUX J45, because again, the software wouldn't allow me to upload that one, or I would have tried that. But both J45s. Here we go. Okay, so what do you think? Which one? They both have their advantages and their attributes possibly, and I think, you know, for doing gigs, because the Quad Cortex, again, can do an electric path and an acoustic path in the same patch. So all I have to do is plug into different inputs and route from different outputs. I think that's still the most practical, and it's all compact. But to be honest, to be very frank with you, I think I sort of prefer the tactile experience of having pedals. I think it makes me think less. You know what I mean? And the less thinking I'm doing, the better. I think when I'm playing, yes, that means taking an 18 by 12 pedal board, which ain't that bad really, instead of a 12 by 8 Quad Cortex. It also, you know, the Quad Cortex, one of my worries is, you know, something goes wrong with it or it gets damaged on the road. You know, it's $1,800 to get a new one, and how quickly could you get it even though I have everything backed up? At least with pedals, for the most part, you could get pedals, you know, within a day, maybe. Definitely within 2 days, but maybe quicker. So do you carry more, and do you enjoy the tactile response of pedals, the tactile feel of pedals? Or is it easier to just throw a Quad Cortex into your backpack and go? That is the question. And I'm trying to figure that out, so I'm sharing this with you. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you're doing to solve this issue and what you're going with for your acoustic live rig. I'm very, very curious, and I hope this was useful. Thanks for watching.